This is Into the Fire.
I take great pleasure in welcoming to Into the Fire the gutsy, the courageous, the true Aussie legend, 10,000-metre runner and Australian Olympic runner, Pat Tiernan. Nice to meet you, Pat.
Liam, thanks for having me, mate. Appreciate it.
Oh, it's awesome to have you on the show, mate. First things first, Pat, we'll talk about the Olympics soon, but how are you feeling? Are you fully recovered now?
Yeah, mate, doing well physically. Body's been pretty good for a while, and I feel like mentally I'm in a good place with it now and starting to take away some really positive things from it.
Yeah, that's good. Now, you were pretty young when you were noticed by a teacher as a running prospect. Have you always enjoyed the longer distance? Because, mate, I don't see what you see in it. I mean, 100 metres would surely have been better. You run for 10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, I just wasn't very good at the shorter stuff, to be honest with you. So the longer stuff I was a lot better at. And I think when you're young, if you have success with something, it definitely makes it seem more enjoyable. And I was very fortunate that I had some success while I was younger. So that made it fun for me at the time. And it's something that I've really enjoyed ever since.
I reckon I'll stick with the 100. You did really well as a junior, which led to getting into the very prized running college, Villanova. They have a pretty good basketball program as well, just as a side note. It must have been awesome going to college in America. Any cool stories? Come on, they have fraternities, Pat. Surely you got up to a bit of mischief.
Definitely a bit of mischief. It wasn't as much of a party school Villanova as I was anticipating. But yeah, no, definitely a good time. We'd always celebrate well after a conference meet or regional meet. But no, mate, it was a phenomenal experience, and I'm really glad that I went over there, and it kind of turned my life around a bit. I was a little all over the place before I went there, and it really set me on the right path.
Yeah, sounds like it would have been fun. Now, I also believe this is where you met your wife, Angel, a very accomplished runner herself. You proposed to her at a zoo, if I'm right. All right, buddy, how did it go down? In front of which animal were you?
Mate, it was just outside of the zoo. The zoo was closed when we went, but it was all a little bit of a last minute thing. It's basically, a long story short, she actually found out that I had the ring before I proposed, so I had to put something together pretty quickly. But yeah, no, we met at Villanova, and she's an amazing woman, and I'm really lucky to have her in my life. But yeah, no, the Philly Zoo was our sort of spot while we were living there, and so it made sense that we start our new life together right in front of it.
Yeah, it's pretty special, an awesome runner as well.
Yeah, no, she's very decorated athlete, and she's doing well herself. So we've both got a lot of running ahead of us still.
Yeah. Was it when you won the NCAA cross country that you thought I might be onto something here? Because no Aussie had done that in 56 years. Fair effort, by the way.
Yeah, no, that was definitely my biggest result to that point. And, I was confident I'd be able to do something with it before that, but I think that really set me up for a good year in 2017, and trying to project me on to bigger and better things, and definitely changed my mentality with the sport. So, yeah, it was definitely a result that had a big impact on my career.
Yeah, it would have been a big honour.
Yeah, really big honor, and it's a race that's very prestigious over there, and so definitely thrilled to have that be my last race in the college system, and to be able to tie together my Villanova career with that was really nice.
Yeah, it would have been. Now, you competed in the Rio Olympics at only 22 and were being touted as one of the best middle distance runners in Australian history already. Everything was coming so fast. Did you feel the pressure at all? And not qualifying for the final in the 5,000 metre must have been pretty disappointing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was very exciting for me. That year was definitely more so about making the team rather than competing there. I think it was quite a road for me to get there. So I think I was just a little bit more so emotionally drained by the time I actually got to the Olympics, and it obviously wasn't the result I was hoping for, and so that kind of, I think that's ultimately what set me up to do really well in that last NCAA cross country race, was just a bit of hunger from the disappointment there. but no, I learnt a lot. It was a really valuable experience, and I'm glad that things played out the way they did.
Yeah, and getting to see all the better runners there as well must have helped with your career.
Absolutely, yeah, you learn a lot just from being around those people, even if it's a short period of time. And yeah, I was definitely able to take away a lot from the athletes that I was able to spend a bit of time with there, and apply it to myself going forward.
Yeah. You got injured a bit after Rio, which I'm not surprised with, seeing how many events you were doing. Do you think how do you think you were doing too much and not letting your body rest enough? Because as good as you were going in, you never seemed to have time off.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was hard though, just because I didn't really have the option to have a break, just because I didn't qualify until right before the window closed. So, I really needed to keep pressing throughout that year just to qualify. And I think yeah, you're exactly right. I was definitely a little bit tired by the time I got to Rio. But the way I look at it, as far as me even being there, I had to do the season the way that I did it just to get there. So, I'm very proud of that season. Ultimately, the result in Rio wasn't what I wanted, but like I said before, making the team was a really big step for me, and I was able to achieve that and walk away with a lot of lessons.
Okay, so let's move to these Olympics. You were amazing, to be honest. I was so excited with a couple of laps to go. You looked so strong, and to keep up with the front pack was incredible. When did you start to feel the legs starting to get wobbly?
Probably about down the back straight with 2 laps to go, I definitely felt some lactic kicking in. And that kind of felt like it should have been my last lap, and ultimately it was. So yeah, it was kind of disappointing, because I'd executed my race plan perfectly up until about 500 meters to go, and that was you know pretty agonizing to come up about 70 seconds short of what would have been the best result of my career to date. So yeah, no, it was something I was very aware of coming up to the Bell Lap, and I didn't expect it to go as bad as it did. But it's something that I'm learning a lot from, and I've been able to process it a little better since the race, and kind of accepted it for what it is now, and definitely learning stuff, so it won't happen again.
Don't worry, mate. My legs would have been wobbly after like 1 or 2 laps, so. What do you remember from that last lap? I mean, the head was so willing and so courageous, but the body just went, I'm done. Do you remember that front straight, or did you just blank out?
No, I definitely remember it. It's kind of something I would rather not remember, if I'm being honest with you. But no, it was pretty clear to me that whole last straight, just a lot of emotion more so than pain in that sense. It's 5 years of work that's, in your mind at that point, that's just gone down the drain. Since I've had time to look back on it, I've realized it's not that exactly. There's a lot of things that I've been able to take away in a good sense. But yeah, definitely this one was, hard to swallow even before I'd finished the race. So it was, definitely more an emotional and mental battle to get across the line. Just because at that point it wasn't even, my body wasn't responding at all. So it was kind of a matter of the mind at that point. And yeah, we got across the line. It wasn't at all how I wanted it to happen, but I'm glad that it's brought about such a positive response rather than the other extreme, because that's definitely made it a little easier to swallow than it would have been without that.
Now that moment will live on in sporting history, and you'll probably have to endure that video every single Olympics from now on. But the courage you showed to want to finish what you just started is inspirational, mate. The whole country fell in love with you that day. Mate, you're in an Olympic final. Be proud of that.
I appreciate that, mate. Yeah, no, it's definitely something I've been able to appreciate from not only my close family and friends, but the Australian public in general. They were a lot of very kind words coming my way, and I really appreciate every single one of those. So yeah, no, it's very proud to represent my country, and glad that I've got the country behind me in that sense.
Yeah, you should be proud. you are only young, really. With the Commonwealth Games next year and Paris in 3 years' time, you're really on the verge of something special, I think. When do you get back to the track and reset your goals for the next 3 years?
Yeah, so I think the first thing for me is just going to be spending some time with, family in Australia, and then getting back to the US as quick as I can. Seeing my fiance and my dog, and just kind of, chilling out a little bit and letting the mind take a breather. And then it's back to work, and we'll sort of establish our goals for the year from there. Paris is a long way away, but it's it's something that is always on your mind. But yeah, I've just got to see it 1 year at a time. So for me right now, I'm just getting back home, enjoying Angel's company, and we'll figure out some goals from there.
Yeah, it's a lot of training, isn't it?
Yes. A lot of training, a lot of work will go into it. And yeah, you sign up for that. We're always prepared for that. The training's kind of the easy part of it in that sense. It's just a matter of, getting the other things right and finding that balance in life. And I think, that's going to be the priority for me, is making sure that everything else complements the running.
Yep. All right, mate, let's get on to some fun questions. Favorite sport outside of running?
Cricket.
Yep. Most famous person you got a message from after that race?
Most famous person I got a message from. Sally Pearson reached out to me. She's probably the most famous person I know, or the most famous person to me. And Sally's been a great role model. So yeah, I would have to say Sally.
Yeah, that's awesome. Last movie you watched?
Last movie I watched was Tiernan on the flight back.
Oh yeah, that's a cracker. Biggest habit or superstition?
Biggest habit. What's my habit? Honestly, my biggest habit is just probably time. I don't know. It's a good one. I've never actually thought about it in that regard. Biggest superstition. Mate, I honestly don't have an answer for that. I've never even thought about that. I'm not a very superstitious person. And habit-wise, I'm pretty inconsistent habitly, so I don't have anything for you there. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a tough question. Last question. Favorite place in America?
Favorite place in America is definitely Philadelphia. That's our home base. We've moved away from there in the last year or so, but no, we definitely want to go back. We have a lot of friends and a lot of close friends there. So we that's my favorite spot.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Well, Pat, you certainly grabbed the heart of every Aussie and took that 10,000-meter journey with you. Through the excitement, the despair, the disappointment, and the triumph, we were with you, mate. And I know for me personally, I can't wait to take the journey with you in 2024 in Paris. When you put a medal around your neck, no one will deserve it more, buddy.
I appreciate that, mate. No, it's definitely, I'll definitely try and do the country proud there, and we'll finish that last lap a lot stronger than we did this time.
Thanks for the chat, mate.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me.
Awesome.